let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why certain moments with a man stay in his memory forever, while others fade away like they never even happened? See, a lot of people think that men are simple when it comes to sex, that they just want it, period. But the truth is far more interesting. Men don't just want sex, they dream of specific kinds of sex. The kind that makes them feel alive, desired, connected. The kind that makes him walk away thinking about you hours later, days later, even weeks later. And here's the secret most people don't talk about. It's not just about what happens in the bedroom. It's about the experience that's created between the two of you. Because intimacy is never just physical. It's emotional, it's psychological, it's playful, it's adventurous. It's the combination of all these layers that makes an experience unforgettable. When a man thinks back on the best sex of his life, it's not just about positions or even performance. It's about how he felt in that moment. Did he feel desired? Did he feel connected? Did he feel like the two of you were in your own little world? That's what we're diving into today. I'm going to walk you through the 5 types of sex men dream for. And I want you to listen carefully, because if you can bring even 2 or 3 of these into your relationship, you won't just be the woman he wants in his bed. You'll be the woman he can't stop thinking about outside of it. So let's get into it. Passionate, kind. Keep our hands off each other sex. You know that feeling when you and someone are so magnetically drawn to each other that it feels impossible to wait. That's the first type of sex men dream about. The passionate, can't keep our hands off each other kind. It's that moment where the energy between you is so charged, so undeniable that the world around you fades out. You don't think about how you look, whether your hair is perfect or if the lights are too bright. It's messy, it's urgent, it's imperfect. And that's exactly what makes it so powerful. Men crave this type of intimacy because it makes them feel wanted on a primal level. It's not about technique. It's not about lasting all night. It's about the message it sends. I can't resist you. I don't just want you, I need you. That message goes straight to a man's ego, yes, but more importantly, to his heart. It tells him he's desirable, and men rarely get that kind of validation in their daily lives. Think about it, women often get compliments, attention, and signals of attraction in subtle ways throughout their day. Men, not so much when a woman grabs his shirt, pulls him close, and kisses him like she doesn't care if the neighbors hear. That moment sears itself into his memory. What makes this kind of sex so unforgettable is its unpredictability. It usually happens when you least expect it. Maybe you've just come home from dinner, and instead of slipping into your usual routine, the tension builds and suddenly you're pressed up against the kitchen counter. Maybe you're halfway through a conversation when your eyes lock in a way that says, there's no way I can keep talking right now. It's those moments of spontaneity that create fireworks because they break the monotony of daily life. Now, here's the important part. It doesn't have to happen every single time. In fact, if it did, it would lose its magic. The reason it feels so unforgettable is because it's rare, like a spark that ignites when the conditions are just right. That's why if you want to create this kind of moment with a man, you don't have to force it, you just have to allow it. Sometime that means being the one to take initiative. Men love when a woman shows that kind of hunger because it flips the usual script. Instead of him always being the pursuer, he gets to feel pursued. And trust me, that makes an enormous difference in how he views you. This kind of passion also reminds him that underneath the routines, the bills, the to-do lists, and the everyday stress, there's still fire. Relationships often start with this intensity, but over time it fades, not because the desire isn't there, but because life gets in the way. When you bring it back unexpectedly, it jolts him awake. It makes him think, well, she still wants me like that. And when a man feels that, he doesn't just feel turned on, he feels alive. I'll give you a simple example. Imagine you're out together, and instead of waiting until you're home, you whisper something in his ear that makes his imagination run wild. That anticipation is often just as powerful as the act itself. Men dream of this because it taps into both excitement and unpredictability. It takes intimacy from being routine to being electric. So remember, the passionate can't keep our hands off each other sex isn't about perfection. It's about intensity. It's about creating those moments where you lose yourselves in each other. And when a man experiences that it's not just sex in his mind, it's proof that your chemistry is undeniable. That's why he'll keep replaying it over and over, long after it's happened. Playful, laughing together sex. When people think about unforgettable sex, they often picture something serious, passionate, and movies seem intense. But what many don't realize is that some of the most memorable, most deeply bonding experiences between a man and a woman happen when things are light, playful, and even a little silly. Playful, laughing together sex is something men dream about because it brings a completely different energy, one that feels free, relaxed, and safe. Think about it this way: most men live in a world where they constantly feel pressure to perform, to be strong, to be in control, even in the bedroom. A lot of guys feel like the weight of expectation is on their shoulders. Am I doing this right? Is she enjoying it? Am I giving enough? That pressure can make intimacy feel heavy, like it's something they have to succeed at rather than something to just enjoy. But when laughter enters the room, all of that melts away. Suddenly, he doesn't feel judged. He feels free. Have you ever had one of those moments where something unexpected happens during intimacy? Maybe someone falls onto the bed in a clumsy way, or you can't stop giggling because of how silly something looked in the mirror. Instead of killing the mood, those moments often make it better. Why? Because they break the tension. They remind you both that this doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. And real is far sexier than perfect. Men dream of this type of sex because it feels like being with a best friend. It's intimacy plus companionship, desire mixed with fun. When you can laugh together in the most vulnerable moment, it shows him that you're not only physically connected, but emotionally at ease. And that's powerful. It makes him think, I can really be myself with her. I don't have to pretend. Playfulness also sparks chemistry in ways seriousness never could. Teasing, playful banter, a cheeky smile. These little things create tension that turns into desire. It's that mix of flirting and fun that keeps things fresh. Men want to feel like intimacy isn't just a performance, it's an adventure you're both creating in the moment. And here's something you should know: playful sex often leads to deeper connection later, because after you've laughed together, after you've had fun, the trust level skyrockets. That trust is what makes it possible to explore more vulnerable or adventurous experiences in the future. It's like building a foundation. You start with fun, and from there, you can go anywhere. I'll give you a simple example. Imagine you and your guy are kissing, and instead of immediately getting serious, you bite his lip lightly, pull back, and tease him with a smile. He laughs, you laugh, and the energy shifts. That laughter doesn't kill attraction. It heightens it. It says, I'm not afraid to have fun with you. I'm comfortable in this moment. And that comfort makes him even more drawn to you. Men don't often admit it, but this kind of sex makes them fall harder. Because it's not just about the act, it's about the feeling of joy that surrounds it. It makes him look at you not only as a lover, but as someone who brings lightness into his life. And if there's one thing men crave just as much as passion, it's the feeling that being with you makes the world less heavy. So yes, passionate, urgent sex is unforgettable, but playful, laughing together sex, that's what makes him think, I don't just want her in my bed, I want her in my life. Deeply emotional, soul-connected sex. If there's one type of sex that men secretly crave more than they'll ever admit, it's the kind that goes way beyond the physical. It's what I call deeply emotional, soul-connected sex. This isn't about speed, urgency, or even variety. It's about depth. It's about that rare kind of intimacy where he feels not just touched but seen. And believe me, when a man experiences this, it leaves an imprint on him that no other experience can compete with. Here's the truth most men won't say out loud. They long for connection just as much as women do, but society has conditioned men to hide that side of themselves. From a young age, they're told to be tough, to not show too much emotion, to keep things surface level. So when a woman creates a space where he can let go of all that armor, where he can actually feel, it's unforgettable. This kind of sex isn't about wild positions or high energy. It's about slowing down. It's about being fully present. It's about eye contact that lingers a little longer than usual, about holding each other in a way that says, I'm not going anywhere. It's about silence that feels safe instead of awkward. When he feels your breathing sync with his, when he senses that you're not rushing but savoring each moment, something shifts inside him. He's not just sharing his body, he's sharing his heart. Men dream of this because it makes them feel safe in a way they rarely do. Safe to open up, safe to feel vulnerable, safe to let the walls come down. And here's the secret: vulnerability is addictive. Once a man feels that he can be emotionally naked with you, not just physically naked, he won't want to give that up. Have you ever noticed that after deeply emotional sex, conversations flow differently? Suddenly, he shares things he doesn't normally talk about. He lets you in a little more. he feels bonded. That's not an accident. Emotional intimacy in the bedroom spills over into emotional intimacy outside of it. It builds trust, and trust is the foundation of real love. Think of it this way: most men have had passionate encounters. Many have had playful ones too. But not every man has experienced the soul level kind of connection that makes him feel like the world disappeared and it was just the two of you. That's rare. And what's rare is what men remember and cherish. This type of sex is also about acceptance. When a man feels like you're fully there with him, without judgment, without distraction, it tells him he's enough. And let me tell you, that is one of the most powerful gifts you can give, because no matter how confident a man appears, every single one has insecurities. When he feels like in that moment, he doesn't have to be anyone else or prove anything, that he's completely accepted, he bonds to you in a way he can't explain. I'll give you a picture. Imagine lying together afterward, no rush to get up, no rush to check your phone, just lying there, breathing, touching, smiling softly because words aren't even necessary. That afterglow, that feeling of still being connected, is part of what makes this type of intimacy so powerful. Men crave it, even if they don't have the words for it. So yes, men dream of wild, adventurous moments. They dream of passion and playfulness. But what they dream of most, and what stays with them the longest, is the sex that feels like more than sex. The kind that feels like love made visible. The kind that makes him realize, this isn't just someone I'm sleeping with. This is someone I never want to lose. Adventurous, out of our comfort zone sex. If there's one thing that keeps intimacy alive over time, it's adventure. Men dream of sex that feels fresh, exciting, and a little unpredictable. The kind that pulls them out of the routine and into a world where anything can happen. Because here's the truth: the brain loves novelty. When something feels new, our senses heighten, our attention sharpens, and the moment becomes unforgettable. That's why adventurous sex that pushes you both a little out of your comfort zones, is one of the fantasies men think about the most. Now, when I say adventurous, I don't necessarily mean wild, extreme, or something out of a movie. It doesn't have to be complicated or involve elaborate scenarios. It could be as simple as changing the location, like moving from the bedroom to the shower, or surprising him with an intimate moment in the middle of the afternoon instead of waiting until night. Those little shifts break the predictability, and predictability is the number one killer of desire. Men crave adventure because it reminds them that you're willing to explore, that you're open to new experiences. It tells him you're not afraid to step outside the script and try something different. And here's the kicker: it makes him feel like he's on a journey with you, not just repeating the same routine over and over. That sense of discovery makes him feel alive. Think about how relationships often begin. Everything feels new. Every touch feels electric. Every kiss feels like uncharted territory. But over time, as you settle into comfort, that novelty fades. Adventure is how you bring it back. Maybe it's experimenting with role play. Maybe it's trying out new fantasies together. Maybe it's simply initiating at a time or place he'd least expect. That little dose of surprise is often all it takes to reignite the spark. I'll give you an example. Imagine you're both relaxing on the couch watching TV. Everything seems normal. Then suddenly you lean over, kiss him slowly, and whisper something suggestive in his ear. Without warning, the entire atmosphere shifts. You've taken what could have been another predictable evening and turned it into a moment he'll remember. That's the essence of adventurous sex. It's not always about big gestures, it's about breaking patterns. Men also dream of this kind of intimacy because it makes them feel desired in a fresh way. When you're the one who introduces something new, it shows confidence, playfulness, and creativity. It says, I'm not afraid to spice things up, and men find that irresistible. It's not just about the physical act, it's about the energy behind it. That willingness to step outside of comfort zones makes him see you not just as a partner, but as someone who's endlessly intriguing. Now, here's the important part. Adventure doesn't mean doing things you're not comfortable with. It's not about forcing yourself into situations that don't feel right. True adventure is about exploration with safety. It's about creating an environment where you can both say, let's try this, and feel free to laugh if it doesn't go perfectly. In fact, half the fun is in the experimenting, not in nailing it flawlessly. And here's the beautiful thing: adventurous sex doesn't just satisfy a physical craving, it builds trust. Every time you try something new together, you're telling each other, what can explore, we can experiment, we can grow together. That bond makes your connection stronger outside the bedroom too. So when men dream of adventurous sex, what they're really dreaming of is freedom, the freedom to play, to explore, to feel alive with the person they love. It's not about shock value, it's about variety, it's about making intimacy feel like an adventure that never really ends. And when you're the woman who brings that sense of adventure, he won't just desire you, he'll crave you. Tender loving after a long day sex, when we talk about the kinds of sex men dream about, a lot of people assume it's always about excitement, passion, or fantasy. But here's the truth. One of the most powerful, most meaningful experiences a man can have is the exact opposite. It's not wild, it's not adventurous, it's tender, slow, loving sex after a long day. And this type of intimacy is something men quietly crave, even if they rarely put it into words. Why? Because life is exhausting. Men spend so much of their day carrying the weight of responsibility, pressure, and unspoken expectations. Whether it's work, family, or just the daily grind, there's always a part of them that feels like they have to hold it all together. They have to be strong. They have to be focused. They have to be the man. And while they might be used to that role deep down, they long for a place where they don't have to perform, where they can just be. Tender sex creates that space. It's not about fireworks. It's about refuge. It's that moment where he feels your touch and realizes, I don't have to fight here. I can let go. Men dream of this because it makes them feel cared for in a way that almost nothing else does. And as much as men want to feel desired, they also desperately want to feel loved. Picture this: he comes home after a draining day. His mind is heavy, his body is tired. You don't meet him with pressure or demands, you meet him with gentleness. A soft kiss on his forehead, a slow embrace that lingers. Intimacy that isn't rushed or forced, but simply flows from a place of comfort. In that moment, sex stops being about release and becomes about healing. And here's something powerful. When a man feels this kind of connection, it anchors him to you. It makes him feel like you're not just a partner in desire, but a partner in life. The tenderness tells him, you don't have to be the strong one all the time. With me, you can rest. That message is profoundly attractive, not because it's erotic in the usual sense, but because it speaks to his soul. Tender sex also carries a kind of intimacy that lasts long after the moment ends. It's not the kind of memory that flashes with heat and fire. It's the kind that lingers like warmth. He remembers the softness of your touch, the comfort of your closeness, the way you looked at him with love instead of expectation. Those are the memories that sustain a man through difficult days. And here's the secret. This type of sex doesn't just soothe him, it strengthens the bond between you, because tenderness is reciprocal. When you give it, he feels safe enough to give it back. Suddenly, the man who's used to carrying armor around all day lets it down. He shows you his vulnerable side, and that deepens trust. Trust that builds not just a relationship, but a true partnership. So while passionate, playful, emotional, and adventurous sex all have their place, tender loving sex is the glue that holds it all together. It's the reminder that intimacy isn't just about passion or excitement. It's about love. It's about creating a safe haven where he feels cherished. And when a man experiences that, he doesn't just think, she excites me. He thinks, she completes me. She's my home. And that is the kind of intimacy men never stop dreaming about. So there you have it, 5 types of sex that men dream about and secretly crave. The passionate, can't keep our hands off each other moments that make him feel irresistible. The playful, laughing together intimacy that reminds him he can truly relax with you. The deeply emotional, soul-connected encounters that bond him to you on a level far deeper than the physical. The adventurous, out of our comfort zone experiences that keep things exciting and unpredictable. And the tender loving after a long day intimacy that makes him feel safe, cared for, deeply loved. The truth is, no relationship needs to have all 5 all the time. But when you weave these different energies into your connection, when you create passion, fun, depth, adventure, and tenderness, you become unforgettable. You become the woman he doesn't just want in the moment, but the woman he dreams about when you're not there. Because intimacy isn't just about what happens behind closed doors. It's about the feelings you create, the experiences you share, and the memories that stay with him long after. That's the kind of intimacy that turns attraction into obsession and chemistry into lasting love. If this resonated with you, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, because every week we dive deep into what makes relationships thrive And I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me which one of these 5 do you think is the most important in a relationship, or which one do you feel you want to bring more of into yours? Remember, love is built in the little moments, and the more variety you bring into your connection, the more unforgettable you'll be.